Hey folks, today we're at a state park public boat ramp. I've never fished this lake before. I don't even know if it's got a name. I just know it's back here. Plenty long, it's about a mile long. And you know, every state that I've ever seen has state parks that have big lakes. And some of them are really good. And I've heard some reports about some real big fish here. So I don't know how to fish it, but I got the basic stuff. Now here's the basic stuff. You know a Cinco is going to have to be the #1 choice. You know you're going to catch them on Cinco no matter what. You know you could probably catch them on a topwater plug early in the morning, like a buzzbait or some kind of topwater plug. Okay, it's kind of early. The other thing is, how about a crankbait, a small little crankbait? I really think, now I'm just guessing, I really think that little crankbait might really do well. But anyway, we're going to try a lot of different things, and we're just going to see if we can't figure them out. I'm a pattern guy. I'm going to look at the depth. I'm going to look at the watercolor, water clarity, and the water temperature, and I'm going to try to figure out some kind of good pattern. Let's go fishing. Okay, folks, here we are. I've never made a cast in this lake before. I don't know anything about it, but what I do know is that we have a depth finder up front, and I got it adjusted pretty hot, and I see it's 7.5 feet deep here. It's pretty deep, and there's a bunch of shad or something on the bottom. So we got some deep water. Okay, the other thing that we're looking at with the depth finder, it says it's 82 degrees. Water temperature is 82 degrees. So they're probably not spawning. I don't think I'm going to find any spawning fish, but the bluegills might be spawning. Here it is summertime, close to the full moon, and sometimes you find where bluegills are spawning. That's a good deal. Okay, I'm going to start off. Oh, there's some shady spot. Let me just start off with the buzzbait real quick, just to see what happens. I got my crankbaits and I got my worms and I got my other stuff. And what I'm going to use is just a little old buzzbait. I'm just going to make long casts. The other side's shady, but first thing I'm going to do is make a couple casts on these points. You know, whenever I throw any kind of lure on a point, just to start with, whether it's a worm or a crankbait or a topwater, I always throw past the point. You don't want to throw exactly to it. You want to throw past it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm finding these potential ambush points. Ooh, there was something right out there in the middle. I don't know what that was. Something hit. I don't know, that might have been just a minnow. There's bait in here. See, there's more bait skipping around. Huh. Water's 2 feet deep here now, so it's come up pretty shallow real quick. Water's come up real shallow. Look at the bait. There's a bait skipping around. Hey, that means something, maybe. At least there's bait in the water. 2.5 feet deep. I'll make a cast down this way. Again, I'm not sure. I'm just going to make a few casts with the buzzbait. If nothing happens, I'll hit the shady side real quick. I'll go to something else. So let's just, you know, this is just a matter of trial and elimination. You don't always figure it out right away. But looking at the pattern and the temperature and the water clarity, there should be a topwater bite to start with. Now I could throw a regular topwater. I could throw a devil's horse. I could throw a Zara spook. I could throw any number of plugs. But the thing about a buzzbait, it's a fast way to see if they're hitting topwater. Real fast. Okay, let's come over here for a second. There's some more fish. I see some more fish breaking down there. It's really shallow. Look how shallow it is. That's eliminating some water now. It's dropping off here. So it means that there's an edge down the center here somewhere. I don't know where the edge is. See, it's just dropping off the depth finder. I'm watching it right now. So there's like a ledge out here. And that's maybe a good cranking deal. Well, let's get over the other side and try a couple buzzbait shots. Haven't given up on topwater yet. Now that's the shady side over here. Now, you know, bass sometimes really go for shade. You know, let's face it. So the shady side could be a whole lot better than the sunny side. That's just one consideration. They don't have eyelids and they can't close their eyes, so they like to get in the shade. It's pretty deep here. Water's, I'm gonna take my trolling motor and run it a little slower. Just quiet power catches fish. And the fish just broke in those reeds right there. I don't know if it was a bass, a bluegill, could have been a garfish. I don't know what it was. Something made a swirl in the weeds. Let me throw right down to where it was. It was right down in there. Oh, bad cast. Bad cast. I don't want to make many bad casts, but some bad casts. Okay, let's see what happens. Bad cast. Let's see what happens now. Okay, now right down there, we're in these reeds right here. That's where he was, right there. Let's see if he's right there, right there, right there. That's where it was, that's where it was. Woo! Son, he didn't bite. 2.5 feet deep. Two and a half feet deep. Beautiful buzzbait time. You know, one thing when you're fishing spinnerbaits and buzzbaits and things like that, it's always good a jig, swimming a jig. It's always good to bump stuff. So I'm trying to purposely throw this little buzzbait so that it bumps into these reeds a little bit. That's sometimes a real big deal, provoking a strike like that. Okay. It's deep enough right here. Okay, I've tried to buzzbait a few casts, and that may be potential, but I see so much bait out here on the edge of the channel, I'm gonna have to make some cranking. Look at that, another one just rolled right there. So that's a big deal, and I see it, all sorts of bait on the depth finder. Oh, there's one, I got one right now. See, first cast, that's the deal. I'm telling you what, folks, the crankbait's gonna be the deal. It was the first cast I made. I've made 5 or 6 other casts on a oh, look what I got. Look what I got. It's not even a bass. It's a tilapia, a great big giant tilapia. Look at the size of that tilapia. Holy moly. They're good to eat. Yeah, they are. I'm about to get my pliers.
That's a trophy.
That's a heck of a trophy. First cast with a crankbait, I get a tilapia. They're really good to eat too. Okay, well, now, let's try that again. The old tilapia trick. So one of the keys, I'm watching that front depth finder, and I have the transducer of this depth finder mounted on the trolling motor. So as I go to the left, watch this, it'll drop off. Okay, now watch the trolling motor, watch the depth finder, it's dropping off right there. So here's the drop off right here. So the drop off's right here. So what I need to do is just stay on that edge, just throwing right down the edge and just see what happens. I don't know what it is. Another tilapia. Can you believe that? I can't believe the tilapia biting this thing. What the heck? I've never had tilapia bite like this. Okay. I got a bass. It's not real big. Topwater bass. Topwater bass. Yes, sir. Right off some lily pads, okay. We'll explore that pattern a little bit. You know, that's the thing when you're bass fishing. You just have to try a lot of different things. And that could be a deal. I put this new topwater on. They didn't hit the buzzbait too good. Already hit them out. Okay. That's the bass. Well, what I was doing, I was just mainly just throwing right to the edge of the lily pads. It's the first lily pads I've really fished. I mean, I hadn't tried any other lily pads. Just kind of ease it along or walk it along. This is a walking lure, kind of like a zero spook, just back and forth. You need the right kind of rod and the right kind of rhythm to make it walk like that. Oh, there he was. There he is. There he is. There he is. He was there. Oh man, I'm gonna power pole him. They're both of them. One of them, I'm saying they're both just gigantic. Both of them. One of them's a little bigger. One of them's about 10. Look how big he is. There's two of them. Two monsters. There's just both of them are just gigantic. He's right there on it. Nice one. Big bass. Huh? Get kind of tied up on that deal. Okay. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on, bass. Okay. Not a bad one. But we got hung up. Well, we've caught them on a few things. Topwater fish, some crankbait fish, a couple wormfish. You didn't see it, but I did. There was a bluegill bed back there, and we didn't get it on film, but a great big fish did hit my worm. And I set up on him, and I never caught him, but he was way, way, way big, possibly a double-digit fish. It was just a gigantic fish, but I didn't catch him. Okay. Now I always hold my rod high. That's the one thing I do about my worm fishing. I'm a high rod holder. You can feel so much better when you have a rod high like this. That's the deal. And also I'm gonna turn that trolling motor down as quiet as I can, because you don't want to make much noise. You know, bass are predators. They seek ambush points, and so these points of grass you see, a rock pile is a perfect example, a log that's just maybe all by itself. And the more isolated it is, the fact that there's just one rock pile sometimes makes it a really good deal. I don't know where that rock pile came from. I have no idea how it got here or anything else, but it's here. You know, bass fishing is a funny sport. You know, you go out and we didn't catch a whole lot of fish today, and I'll go back in and somebody will say, well, how'd you do today? But the untold story is that I possibly had an opportunity to catch the biggest fish I've seen all year. That one fish that was on that bed was humongous, probably a double digit. I didn't catch it, okay, but I had the opportunity. And that's the thing, you gotta get out, you know, you gotta get out every day, and you gotta have good polarized sunglasses, and you gotta work hard. And occasionally you catch one of those great big fish. I didn't today. I had the opportunity. So try to put together good patterns. You know, when you go to a lake, you know, I know they're going to hit a worm. I know they're going to hit some kind of crankbait. I know they're going to hit some kind of topwater. So I had my little pattern situation all set up. I didn't catch that big one. Hey, but there's always tomorrow.